Okay, so now in question 6, Janet invests a lump sum of 5,000 Rand into a savings account for a period of 2 years. The investment earns interest rate of 10% compounded quarterly, 6.1.1. What is the quarterly interest rate for Janet's investment? So we are told that the interest is compounded quarterly. So the interest rate for Janet is going to be equals to 10% divided by 4, which is 2.5%. 6.1.2. Calculate the amount in Janet's savings account at the end of 2 years. So I want to know the amount of Janet in 2 years' time in her account. So what we can do is gonna write it here. So we know we are using a compound formula. So we know that we're using a compound formula. A is equals to P into 1 plus I to the power N. And P is the investment of Janet in her savings account, which is 5,000 Rand. And the interest rate, we just stated that it's 2.5%. Why? Because it's compounded quarterly. It's compounded quarterly, and N is equals to 2 years. So you're gonna say 5,000 into 1 plus 2.5% to the power of 2 years. So what you need to note is that we wrote 2 years at the top, so you need to multiply by the 4, which is for quarterly. So normally you would write A is equals to P into 1 plus I to the power N, which is 5,000 into 1 plus, so the percentage, it was 10%, so it's going to be 0.01 divided by the quarterly, which is 4 to the power 4 times 2 years. So that is the normal way of doing it. Then the answer that you're going to get is 6,092 Rand 0.01. So that's the answer for here and also for here. 6,092 Rand 0.01. So this is 992 Rand 0.01. So that is the amount of money in Janet's savings account. So now in 6.2, we are told that Sihle inherits 800,000 Rand. He invests his entire inheritance in a fund which earns an interest rate of 14% per annum compounded monthly. At the end of each month, Sihle withdraws 10,000 Rand from the fund. His first withdrawal is exactly 1 month after the initial investment. So 6.2.1, we are asked to calculate how many withdrawals will Sihle be able to make from his fund account. So from the information given, we know that Sihle, the person we are talking about, Sihle, has an inheritance of 800,000 Rand, and the interest of the savings that he does is 14%, and it's compounded monthly. And one other thing that we can take from the question is he makes withdrawals of 10,000 Rand. So now we want to know how many withdrawals will Sihle make. One thing we need to note is we're having a lump sum here. we're having a lump sum that we are depositing in the account. So when you have a lump sum and you receive your income in certain periods, it can be monthly, can be quarterly, but you are receiving income in a certain period of time, then the formula to use it is a present value annuity, which is PV is equals to x into 1 minus into 1 plus I to the power minus n divided by I. So PV, we know it's 800,000 and x is 10,000, so it's those withdrawals that Sihle makes, and interest rate it's 14% compounded monthly. And when we say we want to know the number of withdrawals, we want to know n, which we normally say it's number of payments. So we are told that he makes withdrawal immediately after the payment. So the payment happens at T0 and then at T1. So at T0 he makes a payment of 800,000. So that's his investment in the account. And then immediately here he takes, or he receives rather, as income, makes withdrawal of 10,000 rand. So we want to know the period. So it's going to be, or not the period rather, but the number of withdrawals. So we're going to say PV is equals to x into 1 minus 1 plus I to the power minus n. So let me write it nicely. So so it's minus n divided by I, which it's 800,000 and 10,000 here, into 1 minus 1 plus 14%, which is 0.14, divided by compounded monthly, which is 12 to the power minus n, all divided by 0.14. So but let me just remove this and write properly at the bottom. So it's going to divide by 0.14 over 12. So you're going to multiply, cross multiply, so it's going to be 800,000 multiplied by 0.14 over 12 is equal to 10,000 into 1 minus 1 plus 0.14 over 12 to the power minus n. So make sure that you punch the values towards the end, so you don't punch during calculation. So you divide by 10,000, then we have 800,000 times 0.14 over 12 divide by 10,000 is equals to 1 minus 1 plus 0.14 over 12 to the power minus n. Then we transpose the 1 to the other side, so you have 800,000 times 0.14 over 12 divide by 10,000 minus 1, because it's going to change sign when it goes to the other side, equals to negative into 1 plus 0.14 over 12 to the power minus n. Then from here you will punch your calculator, punch this value in your calculator. So in my calculator I'm getting minus 0.0666, let me just say 667, equals to minus into 1 plus 0.14 over 12 to the power minus n. And then we divide through the negative, Then you remain with 0.06667 equals to 1 plus 0.14 over 12 to the power minus n. Then you're going to use logs. So if you remember your logs, it says that if you have an exponent equals to, so it's going to be, so the exponent it's outside, and then you have your log, you have your base, and then you have your variable here. So meaning in our problem here, our exponent is going to be this one outside. So we will say okay, so now we need to remember our logs. This is an exponent, this is the base, and this is just the number. So according to our logs, it's log, here the a, it's a base, and if I write x, it's going to be just the number. So that's how we write our log. So it's going to be equals to the exponent, right? So to write this properly, we're going to say our minus n, which is the exponent, it's equals to log. Our base, it's 1 plus 0.14 over 12 multiplied by our value, or you just write inside the log is 0.06667, and minus n, you should get an answer of minus 233.465. Divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1, n is equals to 233. Let's just leave it here. So these are the number of withdrawals that Sihle makes. So now we go to 6.2.2, which says that exactly 4 years after the initial investment, Sihle decides to withdraw all the remaining money on his account. So in 4 years' time, he just wants to withdraw the entire amount of money in his account. So the first question says that what is the value of Sihle's deposit to the closest rand? So what we are told here is that Sihle wants to withdraw all money in 4 years time, right? So what was the inheritance? It was 800,000, right? At 14% compounded monthly. So he wants to withdraw all the money in 4 years time. So what we need to first do is calculate the amount of money in 4 years time. Want to know how much will the money be in 4 years time. So remember that this is money that he inserted in his account. So he inserted 800,000 at T0. Then he made withdrawals at T1, but for now we don't really not really interested in that. But we know that he made withdrawals. He made constant withdrawals of 10,000. That's what we know. So we want to know at T4, which is 4 years. So the T1, it is in 1 month time. So we want to know in 4 years, which is going to be T48. We want to know how much is money in the account in 4 years time as he withdraws and continues to withdraw his money. So to calculate the amount of money in his account in 4 years time, so it's A is equals to P into 1 plus I to the power N. We know P is the amount of withdrawals that he was making of 10,000 Rand, and I is equals to 14%, that is compounded monthly, and N is the period, which is 4 years. So we're going to say 10,000 into 1 plus the interest rate 0.14 divided by monthly, which is 12 times 12 times 4. So the amount of money that would be in the account is 1396005.535. So this is the amount of money that will be in his account, right? If let's say, for example, we assume that this 10,000 Rand is being invested into the account, then we'll be having this amount of money into the account. But we want to know how much money will be in the account in 4 years, right? So this would be the total amount, and then we will use our future value annuity formula. So the reason why we're using this formula now is because we want to know the future value of money into the account as we are making these withdrawals of 10,000 rands, right? How much will there be in the account? So it's going to be 10,000 into 1 plus 0.14 divided by 12 to the power of 12 times 4, which is 4 years, minus 1 into, so divide by 0.14 divide by 12. So the future value is going to be 638,577.36. So this would be the future value. Now the remaining amount, so this is the money in the account. So you're gonna say the amount, or the total amount rather, that was withdrawn in 4 years minus the total amount invested. All right, so you're gonna have your 1,396,005.535 minus 638,577.36. Then you will remain with 757,428.1749. Right, so this would be the amount that would be in his account in 4 years time as he makes these withdrawals, constantly making these withdrawals. So now the B part of 6.2.2 says that Sihle deposits exactly 30% on the purchase price of the house, right? So what is the purchase price of the house to the nearest rand? So remember that we wanted to know how much money was remaining in his account for him to deposit for a house, right? And we did calculate that amount there, which we found to be, let me write it here, which we found to be 757,428.1749. right? So this was the amount that he was going to use to deposit for the house. So now in B, we want to know, they say Sihle's deposit is exactly 30% of the purchase price of the house. So what is the purchase price of the house to the nearest rent? So this is just the deposit, right? And we know that we having 30%. So this is the purchase price of the house, which is 30%. So I want to know the amount or the purchase price of the house exactly. So we want to say the 30% multiplied by X, which is the amount of the house. So we don't know the price of the house, but we know that 30% of the amount of the house. So this is the amount of the house. So we know that 30% of this amount of the house will give you this deposit value. So that is a deposit value, which is 30%. So it's going to be 757,428.1749. So we're going to divide by this 30%. Divide by this 30%. And then the amount of the house will be equals to the deposit of 757,428.1749 divided by 30%. Remember, you need to either punch 30% in your calculator as a percentage or as 0.3, right? Then the answer that you need to get is 2,524,760.583. So this is the amount of the house. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, please write them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos.